Okay, so this is intro to KW Command. Some of the things I am going to go over is our settings and where those are located and just where you can find some of the things that you're going to need on the back end to update. And then I also am going to talk about the dashboard a little bit, contacts, smart plans and opportunities. Very brief, just where things are located to help you get started with those items. Okay, so first things first, up here in the right-hand corner, you're gonna see your name or your headshot, or it may say KW. You're gonna go ahead and click that and go ahead and go down to your settings. There's a lot of widgets or kind of things that are already connected. So your DocuSign account should automatically be connected. If it's not, it may be because you had joined us before we started using DocuSign, but that's not a big deal. We can help you get an account with your KW email, but typically they are automatically connected. There's Facebook and Instagram. You can connect those for post scheduling, ads managers, and all of that. The other two things I do recommend that you connect is your Google Calendar and your Gmail. So use your KW one because it makes it easier when you are in a contact card. You can easily pop up your calendar to set an appointment and it automatically fills in all the information of the clients that you are talking to or the contact. And then Gmail, any emails that come between you and them will also show up in their timeline. So it's just kind of nice to have those connected to make it easier for you too. Then we have your command email. This is another one that I always make sure to double check. So you're going to go ahead and go to command email, which is towards the bottom for your email services. When you click manage, it will say like who the sender name is. You want to make sure that's your name or whatever name that you prefer. And then you have your reply to email. So you can choose a bunch of different ones. So I have a few different emails in here, but I am using my White Pages one permanently pretty much because that is my work email technically. But you can always add a custom email if you're wanting to use a different one too. You click save changes. You do get 5,000 emails per month. So that is through campaigns and it's also through so email campaigns or through smart plans. So really nice, you get 5,000 emails per month. If you are like exceeding that, or you feel like you need more than that, there is a subscription that you can purchase to receive more emails to send out to your database. So something good to know there. MailChimp you can use for email campaigns. And then we have Twilio, which is mass texting that is for smart plans. If you click like subscribe in Marketplace, or when we go to smart plans, it'll show it. There's like banners that kind of pop up at the top that talk more about those things like, hey, this isn't connected. And it makes it really simple. If you click on that, it says like learn more, then you can find more information on it as well. Okay, some of the other things I've talked about over here is we have your general settings. So default accounts, if you are part of a team, then you can switch between saying which one is a default account. Notification preferences, this was something that was newer. So you can get push notifications to your KW app that's on your phone, or you can also get a desktop in-app, mobile in-app, or mobile push. So those push notifications are what go to your phone automatically. You can go through and you can select which ones, hi, good morning. You can go through and you can select which ones that you are wanting to get notifications of. So. Then whenever you, and that's a bunch of different things. So there's like the admin widget, there's associates and all of these other ones on here too. In the command settings, this is something else that's kind of important to know is we have our command settings here. Contacts, this is your back end. So like if you archive a contact, you can come to your contact archive and you can actually restore, I have never archived a contact, but you can actually restore your contacts just in case you accidentally put them in there, or if they are like, hey, put me back in your database, you can do that. You can also permanently delete your contacts too if you have archived them. Contact tags, so this is again on the back end, so you can create your own contact tags. There are different ones that were in here that were by the system, which is basically Keller Williams Realty International. They put a bunch in there for you to use too. It is nice because you can go ahead and do different colors for these tags, and tags are a super easy way to organize your database. So you can pretty much put in there, like if they are from your church or if they're family or friends or buyers or sellers, or if they are out of state agents that you can refer business to or anything like that. So it's a really great way because you can filter through those tags and you can also use them to help you set people up on smart plans based on what they're tagged. Lead management is also in here. So this is basically if you have if you want to create different rules, this is really for teams and stuff. Different lead sources. So you can put your own lead sources in here. We have a ton in here. There's 94, but if you want to go ahead and put your own in, if you have a certain lead source that you use a lot, and it's not in here, you can go ahead and create a custom source. So I'm going to go down here to opportunity settings. A lot of the same things. Opportunity archive is there. So if you accidentally archive an opportunity, no worries. It's not permanently lost. It's just in your contact archive. And then we have our opportunity tags. So just like contact tags, you can also do opportunity tags. That's a great way for you to go ahead and organize your transactions, or to see how many transactions you got based on a certain tag that you have. So if it was if you had an open house tag for your opportunities and you saw oh, I got 30% of my business from open houses this quarter, maybe I should focus on those more next quarter. But it's an easier way for you to see where you're actually getting your business, because it's great to see where you're getting your contacts from, but it's even better when you see where you're actually getting your business from. And again, you can go ahead and create any tags that you want, same way that you create contact tags. The other thing I like to bring up, pretty much the last thing, is the marketing profile. So your marketing profile is under Connect settings, and I highly recommend going through and just double checking the information in your marketing profile, making sure that it's up to date. It has everything that's needed, has your phone number. The brokerage stuff is towards the bottom, and that's automatically filled out typically. You can upload your own photos, your own photo of yourself, and anything else that you feel is important for people to see. Because if you have this toggled up here, which I highly recommend, this is what goes out on your website. Also, it's on a consumer-facing app. So that is what gets pushed out. So that is the information that's out there on the internet showing you and what you can help clients with, or obviously the information that you need. Okay, questions on the settings. I'm actually going to show one more piece because it's new. It showed up last month and I talked about it at team meeting a couple weeks ago, or maybe last week. So basically, if you click on your name again and you go to my profile, this is new. So if you do have updates, such as you changed your name, you got new contact information, you need to update your profit share direct deposit. So you got a new bank account or something and you need to go ahead and update that. All of that can be done through your My Profile tab. So everything is on your end now. So a lot of times people let us know, which we do need to know for your actual direct deposit for your commissions, because that is separate from your profit share. Okay. But if you need to change your KW emails, if you need to find your KW UID, this is a question I get a lot. It is in your system information under your profile. Oh, well, normally it says profile, but they call it your QUID, which is your KW UID. Typically when you register for Mega Camp, Family Reunion, regional events, they will ask for your KW UID, and that is where you can find it. Also tells you your start date. Oh my gosh, August 1st, 2018. Yikes. so long ago. So yeah, anything else? Personal information, updating emails, addresses too. That's another thing, which we do typically like to have your addresses and all of that. So, but this is for you, your profile, anything regarding KWRI, all of that can be updated right here. Okay, cool. Next, I'm going to go ahead and go to our dashboard, and I'm just going to briefly talk about our dashboard and what it has for you to use. So up here are these new little widgets, and these are really, really nice because it shows you your leads never contacted, recently active contacts that you have in your database, birthdays and anniversaries. And what it'll do is if you clicked on anniversaries, I don't have any this month. I don't have a lot of people in my database because I use this as a training account since I am not an agent. But it will actually, if you click on that, it will show every person that has a birthday that month and what day it is. Now, this is really good for you to see because you can then look at that list. And if you're wanting to just get like an overview of the month and be like, okay, I need to buy like 10 birthday cards this month or something like that. But you really need to be using those birthday smart plans created by Keller Williams Realty International. They are great. It tells you like about a week out that someone's birthday is coming up. Get a card in the mail, and then it has a couple of other things. So you can send a text message or give them a call. So really, really nice there. And we'll talk about that here in just a second. Same thing with home anniversaries. You can see how many home anniversaries you have that month. And I know it's sometimes fun to put in like a little gift card, like $5 to Andy's or Starbucks or something like that as a home anniversary, little treat for them, just as a, you know, congratulations on 1 year in your home. How's everything going? Just, it's an extra touch. That's a really easy one. So that's really nice. It gives you a little overview up there. Then down here, we have our tasks, and you can update this and customize it however you want. So you can go ahead and just click this little customize button over here on the right, and you can actually get rid of some of these things. So if you're like, I don't need the notepad, I'm gonna go ahead and remove that. Or you want your goals to be first and your tasks second, totally fine. You can just drag and drop and it moves it over there. But all of your tasks will show up right here. You also have your task tab over here as well. So you can find it on like a more, you know, a larger level or larger scale. But this will basically have all of your tasks that you have, and you can easily click them to go away. You also get a lot of them up here in your notifications bar. So you're unread, you're read. It's really nice to go ahead and see what tasks you have that day as well. Let's see. Design updates are on here, goals are on here, product updates, which is kind of cool because they are, I mean, like they are doing so many updates all the time. Like I am like going through this sometimes and I like go to click something and I was like, oh, they moved it. Now it's like over here and that makes more sense. But things like that. Your database health score. So we'll talk about that in contacts. And then profit share. So it actually tells you like how many people are actually in your downline. If you don't have that on there, then it has like a little video on how to build your profit share. So that's really nice too. Okay, I'm going to go into contacts. Was there any questions on I forgot what this was called. Dashboard. That's what I had called it. Now, if you do have more questions or anything, a lot of times they do have these nice little banners up here. So like, here's the new KW app. Follow this guide to customize and brand the app to your business. So you can actually explore this Kelly guide, and it has like step-by-step on how to do those things. Same thing with like your websites and everything, which I usually teach a website class every other month. This month we had Ignite, so there's just a lot going on with it. So I will probably teach another website class next month, but it's really easy. You just follow the Kelly guide and it tells you what to do. So Kelly guides are awesome. Okay, I'm going to go into contacts really quick. So it is really, really easy to import your contacts now directly from your phone. All you do is go into your KW Command app, go to your contacts, right-hand corner, there's a nice little 3-bar, says import contacts. Depending on how many contacts you have, I had a guy who had over 2,000, I think, yesterday in his phone, and we had like a 30-minute meeting and it was done by the time we were done talking. Now, if you only have, I also had a guy who only had like 39 in there the other day, and that took like a minute. So it's like it's pretty quick. But it's really nice because then that's a great step to start. When you are getting started with your database, start by importing your contacts and then go through and clean them up. Because most of the time you're probably going to have some like, you know, like your doctor's offices, or you're probably like where they send you like automated text messages, or you'll have like the Domino's down the street, or maybe it's people that you don't even have their last names and you like met them randomly when you were like out one night and you never got their last name or never thought to ask about it. So you want to go through and just clean those up, but it's really easy because you can actually just click right onto a name. And then you can just click next contact and just go straight through like this and be like, oh, okay, I'm missing this person's email. I know I have their email. So then you just go ahead and get that email started, or get that email put in, and that helps you clean it up. So you can do that part, or you can go ahead and do an import this way. I say that the easiest way to do it is from the KW Command app, but you can also do it via a CSV file spreadsheet. With that spreadsheet, you can kind of do a little bit more, so you can actually add different columns and clean it up a little bit more that way before you import, but it's up to you on how you'd like to do it. Okay, basically adding a contact. So I just click add contact up here. The cool thing about Command is if you're looking to add anything, it's most likely you're going to find a blue button with a plus sign, and then it tells you what to do. The only thing you really need is a name. So full name, put that in. Then if you go ahead and go down, you have your primary emails, your primary phone numbers, lead source types. So we talked about those. So you can select from a list, and this is that list that populates that you can go ahead and add your own lead sources if you would like in the back end in the settings. You can also select from contacts. So this is if you actually got a referral from maybe one of your contacts that's already in your database, then you can actually select on who that person is that gave you that contact's information. You can mark them as a lead. So marking them as a lead basically just puts a little L next to them, and it will show up on your dashboard in that leads never contacted widget, and it'll show you those in that area as well. So it makes it a little bit easier to see and organize and be like, okay, I need to contact all my leads today, or that's all I'm working on this week because I have 50 leads, like, you know, something like that.
So are the leads just like from like word of mouth referral from your contacts?
So yeah, either one. So if you're kind of like, yeah, if you got a word of mouth and you're like, I just want to put this in really quick, because you can do it from your phone, which putting them into Command and then you can actually sync that to your phone is the best way to do it. So put it in Command first, and then it actually goes into your phone. So really, really nice. But then you can be like, okay, mark them as a lead. Then that way it's a reminder for you to be like, okay, I need to follow up with this person later. Yeah, good question. Tags, we talked about tags. So this is where you actually put the tag that's associated with the contact. You can put as many tags as you possibly want. I'm actually going to put one in here today. I'm going to put, let's do like Harry Potter. H. Potter. Okay. I'm going to do, so I'm going to create a custom tag because I didn't have that tag in there. So I'm going to go ahead and put them in, and I guess we'll do red because I think that's like Gryffindor's colors. But you can put as many as you possibly want. So you can put 5, you can put 10, like doesn't matter. And then there's actually new filter options, which I'll show you here in just a second. And you can put like multiple tags in there. So it's really, really cool. Whenever you add more information, so additional contact info basically says preferred method of contact. Unfortunately, there's not an owl, so I'm not going to choose that, but I'll go ahead and do email. You can also add additional emails and additional phone numbers. So if they have like a work phone number, or if they have like a work cell phone number or a home number or something like that. Then we have our address here. So addresses, whenever you put those in, if it's a neighborhood that's already been mapped, on the KWRI's map, then it will automatically place them in a neighborhood, which is really nice for you because then you can add them to the biweekly or the monthly neighborhood nurture smart plan, which is one of the ones that we recommend. When you do that, it sends an email every single month or every 2 weeks with all of the homes that are for sale in that neighborhood. So kind of nice if you are working with, if you like have a bunch of sellers or like potential sellers or buyers, then you can send that to them and they can see like, oh my gosh, like this house is, it just got listed for this much. That's very similar to my house. And it's listed for 100,000 more than I had bought it for 5 years ago. So something kind of nice to look at. So always recommend putting in those addresses when you have them. And I do recommend also like selecting the same as mailing address because you can actually print out mailing labels. So makes it nice and easy. Print out mailing labels, you just export them out in directly. Social media profiles, you can also add that here as well. Legal name, that will automatically pull into your DocuSign. That was something that was new. It does automatically grab the legal name. So if you have one in there, then it'll pull it. Description. So this is what I say to put, like nothing that's really going to change. So like if they have kids, if they have hobbies, if they have a vacation home in another city, like, you know, just things like that, that you just always want to remember. If, did I say if they have pets? Like, cause I know, I mean, I don't have any kids, I have pets. So I like it when people talk to me about those. But just things like that, or like if they go on a vacation every year to the Bahamas, and then that way you can always have that and be like, oh, did you guys go on your vacation this year, or did you guys already plan it? Just easy things to make it feel like you are making that connection with your clients. This is where you put those birthday and home anniversaries in. So like I said, easy touches, and it shows up on your dashboard, makes it nice and easy to see who's got a birthday or home anniversary coming up. Relationships. So if you have spouses, or if you have maybe kids that are on, they're pretty much like selling like a parent's house or something, like maybe they had passed away and then the parents had given it to all three kids, then you can actually link them right here through relationships. So right here, I mean, it says like son, brother, daughter, like sister, sibling, whatever. Then that way you can go ahead and add everybody in there that you need to, and that links their profiles together. Then that way, whenever you are, I totally lost my train of thought. Oh, when you're doing your DocuSign or like doing like an opportunity, it grabs every single person and it grabs all their information. So it automatically like puts it in.
That's like if all the people are on the transaction?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so like typically spouses, that's pretty normal, but you know, so I would always say like, if you have like siblings because they are selling like a piece of property that was like given to them or something, so yes,
So you
yes.
really only want to link people on their profile if they're going to be signing on the DocuSign for things?
Most likely, yeah.
Okay.
You can always put notes in there or like tag it if it's like parents or something like that. And I think there might be a function. I haven't used it that much. The only time I really have seen it is with spouses, who I don't think you're gonna run into it too much. But I think where you might be going is if it's like a son or a daughter of somebody who's in your contacts.
Right.
Yeah. Might be something good to look at, but it probably wouldn't.
So you could just put that in the description?
Exactly.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Okay, so now I have my contact here. So my contact health score is pretty low because I don't have a phone number and I don't have an address. So the top three things that we say to have, well, four, name, phone number, email address, physical address. That will get your database health score very high, and that helps you so that you can do smart plans and not run into any issues that you might have. Okay, so basically right here, if you click on this little pencil, you can make any edits. It pops up the same bar that we were just working through. Then down here, it has who's the account and who's the owner is, so that I am the account holder and I'm the owner of this because I went ahead and put that contact in. This is really beneficial for teams because everyone who puts their contacts in, they should, what I highly recommend is importing them into their personal contact or their personal database. And then you can always move contacts from your personal to a team, and then you can work through it that way. So usually how I recommend it. There are bulk ways that you can go ahead and move from account to account. So that makes it nice too, making sure that you are the owner. Okay, I don't have a neighborhood in here because I didn't put an address in, but this is basically all the other information down here. I'm gonna go back into my database really fast and I'm gonna pull up myself and talk through some other things that I like to bring up. Okay, so it shows up here, my contact health score is a lot higher because I have my phone number in here and I also have my email and I have my address. So I have my address in here, so it's automatically populating a neighborhood. I do get a monthly neighborhood nurture every single month, and it is really cool how it just comes through and shows me how many homes are currently active listings, how many have sold in the last month. It says average days on market, average sales price, average price per square foot. So there's a lot of information on those emails and it's really great for your clients to see them. Okay, so over here is your timeline. So this right here shows what they are doing. So as you can see, I got my monthly neighborhood nurture or monthly neighborhood update email on the 6th. On the 7th, I went ahead and viewed a listing, and on the 8th, I went ahead and viewed a listing that was in that email. So it shows you when they're actually interacting with your emails that you are sending out. Some other things, so this was an error, so it couldn't deliver a message to me because my Twilio account is not connected. So it yelled at me for that, but that's okay. Shows you if there's something wrong or if there's an issue. Over here on the next one is opportunities. So this is any opportunities that contact is a part of. This here shows how many smart plans that this contact is part of. And then this here is tasks. So these are any tasks that you have for that contact as well. They show up right here. And then any notes. So with notes, this is something that I recommend. So whenever you have your first meeting with somebody, I highly, oh, and you can, oh my gosh, you can delete them and you can edit them now. That's new. That's really cool. Love that. See, you get really excited whenever they do stuff and you haven't been in here. We haven't been doing this for like a week. Okay, so in notes, this is what I say for initial meetings. So like whenever you are meeting with a new buyer or new seller, then go ahead and put all the information that you guys talked about during that meeting. Makes it super easy because what if you have like 5 listings and 3 buyers you're working with? And I know myself and I have a terrible memory, so I have to write everything down. So in that initial meeting, I'm gonna go ahead and put like why they're moving, why they're, what they're looking to buy, you know, where they're looking at, you know, and then maybe some details because people like to talk. So like bring that up and be like, well, we're downsizing because Cindy's going off to Mizzou and we just don't have any room. We don't need this space anymore. So we want to get a 3-2 instead of a 5-6, which we currently have, and like, you know, all these things. So then that way you can also bring that up later and be like, oh, hey, it's the end of summer. Here's like 3 more houses. And then, but if I'm sure that you're probably moving Cindy into Mizzou this weekend, like whatever. It's just another touch to make it sound like you are actually having a relationship with them. And that's what they like. And you're not being like super creepy, I don't think. Okay, save searches is something else that you can do. So you can create a save search based on what they're looking for. This is what I would say, because there is a save search option on the MLS. And I recommend doing both because the one on KWRI is a little bit more scaled down. So it just has like less things kind of to search for by and everything. But it's just kind of, you know, a little bit more simple. Whereas the MLS has a lot more things that you can add to it. So you can go ahead and set them up on save searches here too. That's also what I recommend if you cannot find someone's neighborhood. So like if you put their address in and you can't find their actual neighborhood, then you can put them on a save search for that area because you can actually map it out and like draw it. So, because rural areas and like I noticed, so I was working with somebody yesterday and she lives at the lake and her neighborhood isn't routed, but there's a bunch of neighborhoods around it, but that's because her neighborhood's like privately owned. So it's not on the map yet. It probably will be at some point, but that we also run into that with like rural areas, like 50 acres of just land. So it happens. Okay, any questions on contacts? Cool. One thing I do want to talk about here, you can create an opportunity directly from the opportunity tab. What's nice about it is that it'll grab all their information automatically, which makes it nice. And same with smart plans, you can add them to smart plans directly in the contact detail card. Okay, next thing I'm going to talk about briefly is smart plans, because I usually teach a full smart plans class, usually every month or every 2 months. Scott Laurie Marketing is also, just a little plug, Scott Laurie Marketing also has really, really great training videos too. I use those a lot myself, so they are also good if you are needing some help on something individually. Okay, so these are my smart plans. So like I said, Twilio account not connected. This little banner pops up. If I click learn more, it pops up a new thing, talks about how Twilio works, talks about the subscription, talks about how much it costs. Everything is all listed in there. And then right next to it, you can actually subscribe in the marketplace. So that's you signing up for it. It is extremely inexpensive. It's like $3 for 300 text messages, like every single month. So it's like less than pennies, I would say. And if you don't use your Twilio credits, then they roll over to the next month. So I know some people that had like higher ones and then they stopped using some of the smart plans that they were using. So then they accumulated like a ton. So then they just dropped it down to like a less expensive one. And they were able to use those. Okay, so these down here are my smart plans. So these smart plans down here are basically just ones that I added to my library itself. Whenever you see the little eyeball, that means that there are 2 people on a monthly neighborhood nurture. And then that means that those 2 people, and if I click on that, then I can see who they are. So makes it really nice, makes it really easy. So you can see who they are. You can select them and remove them mass quantity. You can also add people as well. So if you go over here to add contact, you can add up to 20 within the smart plan part, but then on the contacts, which I forgot to show the filters. I'll go do that in just a second. You can do like a mass smart plan ad as well, but within the smart plan tab, you can only do 20 at a time. If you're wanting to edit any of the smart plans, you just click the little pencil, it pops them up, and then you can make any edits that you need. Highly, highly, highly recommend this, because if you do take a smart plan from the library, we say like use smart plans smartly. You want to make sure that it doesn't, it's not branded to an agent who maybe uploaded that to the library, which I'm going to show here next. So these are a bunch of this is a whole library of smart plans that you can choose from. So basically whatever you're looking for to do, you need a post-buyer close smart plan, you need an open house follow-up smart plan, you need something like that. You can actually search for those up here, and it will show a bunch of different ones. You can actually view the steps of what that is, so you can see what it entails. So here's like a text message, hey, and then there's like, oh gosh, what are those things called? They have like detail fields or something, and it'll automatically put their names in there. So then that way it's more branded to them. So that's really nice. And there's delays and all of that. So then if you're like, oh, I really like this smart plan, I'm gonna go ahead and add it to my library. You can also see how many downloads there are, how many stars, or what it was rated, how many steps, how long it goes for, and how many touches it has. So lots of different options there to get you started on your smart plans. However, the two that we highly recommend, monthly neighborhood nurture or biweekly, just depends on like how often you want them to see that stuff. And then quarterly call plan, because you should be calling your database 4 times per year. So those are the two I recommend. If you have birthdays, if you have home anniversaries, highly recommend adding those two. Those are really easy. They only come around once a year, but it makes it nice because that's like kind of getting you started on your smart plan journey. Okay, I am going to go back to contacts here really fast and show you guys the filter section because I totally forgot about it. So you can, like I said, you can do like a bulk, you can do like a select all. And if you select all, then you can go ahead and do a bulk action. Bulk actions mean like you can add a bulk activity, notes, tags, email lists, smart plans, changing account. So that's what I talked about with if you are on a team, you can do a bulk change account. So then that way you can change it to your team account. You can export mailing labels for these people. You can export mailing labels as a PDF, like all different options. You can also mass remove tags, send text messages. Really, really cool. That's why I say using tags is a great way because you can filter them out and just say like, okay, I want to send a text message to everyone from church this week. Just saying like, I don't know, happy summer. Hope to see you all at the cookout in 2 weeks, whatever. So I'm gonna go over here to filters. So this is really, really cool. They have changed this and made it just like an amazing thing. So you can pretty much do like, here's your contacts only. You can filter them by leads only. You can filter them based on what tags are in here. You can do lead sources, agent site connections, neighborhoods, and you can filter them by if they don't have any neighborhoods, because then that's a really good like little to-do list task for you. And you can be like, oh, wow, I have like 200 people that don't have neighborhoods connected to them. So I should probably go and like, I know I probably have their address somewhere. So it makes it nice. Then that way you can go ahead and go through those, get them all cleaned up, add neighborhoods, because then you're adding their addresses. What you can also do is an advanced feature. So up here, there's an advanced button. If you click advanced, then you can do select field. Let's do created longer than 45 days. Then you can also add another filter and you can do, so this is basically like you're wanting this and, or this or things like that. Then you can do birthday is within the next 60 days. And then you can basically just apply those. I don't think anyone's going to pop up in that, but they make it so then that way you can also create a smart view. So if you're feeling like you're doing the same thing and the same filters, you can create what they call smart view. Then it's basically a smart view filter that you can utilize as much as you want. So really, really nice. Okay. I'm gonna reset. Okay, cool. I'm gonna go to opportunities now, and that's where we're kind of gonna end. I just like to show it because it is definitely, this is where you need to be if you have transactions. So, or whenever you have transactions. So this is basically your opportunities hub. So right here we have phases. So we have your listings and your buyers, because when you have a listing and you have a buyer, you're going to keep them totally separate. And you're going to make, even if you're like dual agency or anything like that, then you're going to go ahead and make two separate ones. You're going to make one for the list side and you're going to make one for the buy side. Okay. How to create an opportunity? You basically just click the blue button, just like anywhere else, right? Blue button. You're going to go ahead and select your market center, which is already on there because that's us. Opportunity type, like I said, make sure that you select the listing or buyer. That is the only thing you cannot edit, listing and buyer, because there are two separate checklists that show up for your listing and your buyer. So that's why you can't update it, because then the checklist would be totally wonky and not make sense. Client, you basically just type in your client. So I know we just did Harry Potter, so we'll go ahead and put him in there. And it does put their email and their phone number in there if you have it. So it'll automatically put that connected with the opportunity. Opportunity name. So typically if it's a listing, you would put the address. If it's a buyer, you can go ahead and put their name, dash buyer or something like that. It's however you want to do it. We do appreciate it if you do update that to the actual address of where maybe the home that they're purchasing. It just makes it a little bit easier for us sometimes, because we get a lot of checks and stuff couriered over. And sometimes, I mean, your name is not on them, it's just the address. So it's easier for us to find them sometimes. But just a little tip, totally fine. We can usually find it. We just put our Sherlock Holmes hats on and go look for them. Custom tags, like I said, opportunity tags keeps you organized and also sees where you get your business for every month, quarter, half year, whatever. Then we have our estimated close date, timeframes, listing price, commission rates, phases. So these are our phases behind here. So there's 5 phases, and then within each of those are called stages. Those stages are basically customizable by you. So however you run your business, and I'll show that here in just a second. Okay, so like I said, these here are your phases. So there's 5. There's cultivate, appointment, active, under contract, and closed. Then at the very end, it shows you your gross commission income for your potential income and your probable income based on if they're going to close and all of those types of things. So makes it cool, makes it nice. But I'm going to go ahead and just click on here the listings. So as you can see, I have 3 stages within the cultivate phase. So I have nurture, watch, and hot. If you wanted to edit those, because you're like, I don't need that many, I just need like, 2 maybe, I just put like nurture and then like hot or whatever followed up. Then you can actually go up here to the edit stages button. And you can update this, you can delete these, you can edit them. And what's really cool is you can also do checklists. So you can create a checklist. So whenever you are moving your opportunities through the phases and stages, it'll automatically populate a checklist for you to go ahead and check things off. Because again, what if you're working with like you have 7 listings and 5 buyers and you're like, I don't know how to keep all these straight. Like, did I put a sign in that yard? Did I schedule photos for this house? Like, it's just an easy way to keep you organized. You can also do client updates. So if you do have like a listing or a buyer and you're like, oh, this was scheduled like an inspector or appraisal or anything like that, then you can go ahead and give them an update. It'll automatically send an email to them saying like, Nicole Deem has scheduled your inspector. This is just your client update reminder. And it just comes through as a very simple email. So helps them feel like they are engaged in the process a little bit more. Okay, I'm gonna go back to opportunities real quick, and then I'm just gonna pop into one real fast. So like I said, you can go ahead and move these around. So you just kind of, well, I'm seeing now it's like turning blue up there, and this one's turning blue, and you can move them around to phases and stages. Oh, there's 2 new features, part of the transaction and transaction summaries. Super cool. And there's another widget up here. I see it. No? Yeah? Nope. Notes? I think that's new. Cool. Love it. Okay. So this is a opportunity detail card. So you had a contact detail card. Now you have an opportunity detail card. Whenever you are in this, you can also make different edits and updates too. So just click the pencil. This is your key information, changing any of that. This was something that was pretty new too. Key dates. So key dates are really nice because you can, if you have like a transaction coordinator or you have an admin or something like that, then it's really great because then they can go ahead and put these dates in here and update them. Like Photography date, staging date, target live date, listing date, all of those things are all on there as well. We have our parties to the transaction. So this is new. So that's what the little widget up there was talking about. So you can actually put in here like who the title company is, who the insurance agent is, the inspector, the attorney, all of that. You can actually put those, that information in. So that way it's all in one place too. Then we have our seller worksheet where you can basically just do math, which I'm terrible at math. So that's very beneficial. Financial information, and then of course ownership and who owns it. So that's usually your information down there. Seller profile is if they are working with your KW app, your consumer facing app, then it will show up here, their information. This is something kind of cool for listing. So there's actually design opportunities or like design options for you for your listings. So you can actually choose like these are print ones because they say print here. Here's our social media ones. You click on that, you just drag and drop their photos and everything, and you're good to go. So, and that way you can just post it right on social media. You can also create other designs as well. And they also give social ad recommendations too. So like, oh, I want to go ahead. This is just listed. This is an open house. This is a for sale. So it's really nice. They give you options if you want to use them. You do not have to, it's just an option. Then I'm going to go here to documents. And when I go to documents, usually this stuff isn't popping up, but I didn't create a brand new one. This will be, it'll say choose checklist type, and you'll go ahead and choose whatever checklist it is. So obviously this is a residential, so I'm going to go ahead and choose residential, but they do have like incoming referrals and vacant lands. This will pop up your checklist that you need in order to get, basically to stay in compliance, get those compliance checked, and then get paid on time. So if you do click on some of these, so I'm going to go ahead and click on the seller's disclosure. It actually shows what the document looks like and what needs to be filled out. So it's like a little cheat sheet. Over here, you do have 3 folders. So we have our listed documents. These are our under contract documents and our closed documents. Let me see if I can find one really fast that looks like it's basically bleeding from all of the things. I don't know if I have one recently. No, I don't have any. Okay, when they come back, usually over here, there'll be like green banners that says approved. On the other side, if it was rejected, it'll be red and tell you exactly what was wrong with it. And then pretty much if you always start in command first. So whenever you are doing DocuSign, if you click on this, it'll say start a transaction. But since I already have a room linked with this, it'll just say go to transaction. So when you first get started, you're going to make sure your contact is in your contacts. You're going to go to your opportunity or create one directly from the contact, doesn't matter. Create your opportunity, select your checklist, and then click start a transaction to make sure that you are linking your DocuSign room with your opportunity. Now, the really cool thing is, as you can see here, if I click this like sync transaction button, so if I made some changes or updates on either side, click the sync transaction, they talk to each other and they update on both sides. So offers and commissions. So Landon teaches a class usually every month talking about offers and commissions, but this is pretty much where you would submit this within 4 days of going under contract. Or if you want to wait like a week before or a couple weeks before, like that's usually fine too, because I know some things can change and you don't want to make a bunch of changes and updates and stuff. But basically you're going to just submit an offer, accept it, and then you will see your commission and see how much gets paid out to the market center. You'll also see how much gets paid to KWRI through royalty, and you can see how close you are to capping. So it's all within your commission tab. Okay. Questions on anything I talked about? Is there anything else that you want to see? I'm not going to go into DocuSign just because like I teach a whole class on that too, usually every month, and there's a lot of training on it, but I am always happy to help if you have questions on any of that. People FaceTime me all the time and they say like, what do I do with this? Or how do I find this? Or what's going on? So no worries at all. But nothing? Feel good? Feel better?
More from adding my most recent listing, like
Good.
just trying to
Yeah.
just mess with it, you know?
That's awesome. Yeah. And the biggest thing is just getting in there. And that's why I do teach this class, is just because I think it helps people feel more comfortable, or like where things are located or what's kind of important. But yes, absolutely.
But if you're on the app, on the phone, how do you get to all of that? Like I can.
Opportunities?
I can get to contacts, I can get to opportunities.
Those are
but
the
like-
only ones you can.
Okay.
Yes.
But you can't get to consultation or like this, whatever.
You can't get to offers and commissions. No,
Okay.
it'll just show, you can look at, I'm trying to remember. It's really like documents, I think, or like your phases and stages, and see like who's in those. And I think you can look in a little bit more into the actual opportunity. But you can see like where people are at.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're still adding more stuff to the app. I'm not sure how much more it's gonna progress, just because there's only so much you can kind of do on like a phone. But if you're on like a tablet or anything like that, I recommend just using like the Google Chrome browser and then signing in. It works the same. Yeah, but yeah, the app has, it's really for like on the go. Like I'm just double checking this, or I'm adding my contacts in, or I want to make a phone call or a text message to somebody, or do a task, or get rid of tasks, then it's all on there. But no, that was a good question. Okay, cool. Well, if I don't have anything else, that's all I have for you. But yeah, and if you ever want to make, I mean, like I do one-on-one consultations all the time. I had 3 yesterday, and each of them were so different, based on what you are needing for your business. Or you're like, I just don't know where to start with smart plans. Will you just help me? Or, you know, things like that. Getting your contacts in, getting your databases cleaned up. Yeah, any of those items.
Perfect.
Cool.
Thank you.
Well, thank you for coming. I appreciate you guys being here.